Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me for my review of the 2017 horror film Jigsaw, directed by Michael Spierig and Peter Spierig, and starring Matt Passmore, Laura Vandervoort, and many others. This movie, Jigsaw, has some interesting elements, but ultimately it just didn't work for me. I consider this movie to be disappointing. Now, if you're someone who watches the Saw films just to see the kill scenes and the tension and things like that, I think the movie actually delivers pretty well, and that's what somewhat saves this movie. But I say only somewhat because if you're someone who likes great plotting, great dialogue, great acting, things like that, in my opinion, you should look for another horror movie, as a lot of those elements of this film are just not convincing. So I'll start with some things I liked about the film. There are a few. Like I said, there's a lot of tension, and the kill scenes, which are very, very gory, they are well done, though, for the most part, and I think they deliver in typical Saw, franchise fashion. The movie also flows very well. I thought the pacing was very good. This film's around 90 minutes, and it never dragged. That's a good length of time for a film like this. Also, I did think some of the character setups were pretty interesting. Unfortunately, I don't necessarily like where the plot went as the film went on, but I thought the central mystery was set up fairly well. Okay, that's where the goods end. Now I'm going to talk about the negatives, of which there are quite a few. Jigsaw is one of those movies, as I like to say, that thinks it's more clever than it really is. There's a lot of misleads in this film. Admittedly, a couple of them work, a lot of them don't, and there are a lot of them. There's also a big twist, which is typical, and for me, it didn't really work and felt a little bit like a cheat. Others might find it to their satisfaction, and it didn't kill the film, but I felt myself kind of rolling my eyes. It didn't really work for me. And there's some other problems with this film as well. Some of the acting is decent enough, but there's also some really bad overacting by a few people in this film. There was one scene, I won't give it away, but I actually kind of laughed out loud. It was just so unbelievable. And that's not good because I don't think Jigsaw was supposed to be a comedy, so it's never good when people in the audience are laughing. Also, some of the dialogue in this movie is really, really bad. I'm not sure why it's so hard to write decent dialogue. I'm not sure what they were going for, but if they were trying to go for humor, if they were trying to be corny, but certain lines in this movie made me cringe, and it happened more than once. Just really, really bad. Also, this kind of goes into the misleads thing. There's a lot of plot conveniences in this film, and there's times when some of the characters do some things that seem like they're only done to further the plot. They don't really seem believable the way the plot presents them. And I had an issue with that too. A lot of plot conveniences in Jigsaw. So like I said, overall, if you watch any of the Saw movies, just, to see somewhat creative kill scenes and gore, things like that, you may like this film a little more than I did because they're decent. Unfortunately, this movie has far too many other problems to work for me, but like I said, it's watchable, and I'm going to give Jigsaw a 2 out of 5. And ultimately, I just can't recommend this film. I found it to be somewhat disappointing, if well-paced and watchable. So, 2 out of 5 for Jigsaw, and as always, thank you very much for watching.